WALLY CARDILLE. My broadcast colleague to my right is Mike Lane, and we welcome you all to this edition of RWL Championship Wrestling. We have an excellent card for this first program of 2023. Scheduled to be on hand with you as tonight will be primetime Bobby Mills. The lovely Showbiz will be competing tonight in a non-title matchup with Women's World Champion Dynamite Jeannie Parker and Mike. I think the tension will be thick surrounding that ladies' division match.
I'm counting on it, Wally. Jeannie D and Showbiz can't stand one another. We'll also see in action tonight the originals, along with Ballarat, Jack Jones, and Niles Wickheiser.
All that, plus a 6-woman tag team match that's sure to be a hit. And in the main event, champion versus champion as Magic and American Supreme Matt Clark square off. All that and a lot more when we return in a moment with our first match.
Wrestling fans, welcome to tonight's edition of RWL Championship Wrestling, promoted and produced by Ringside Wrestling League, Incorporated. President, Jack McLeod. General Manager, Seamus O'Toole. Field Manager, Steve Grosvenor. The doctor in attendance, Dr. Beverly Sims Barnett. The timekeeper, Marty Marvin. The referees, Walt Rothburn, Willie Johnson, Tom Kanamura, Anthony Corallo. And I'm your RWL ring announcer. My name is Ida Holly. Our opening contest is set for one fall, with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Worcester, Massachusetts, weighing 270 pounds, here is John Bob Kennedy.
All right, Wally, here we go with John Bob Kennedy. And the big guy's looking pretty ready for tonight's opening match as he prepares to go one-on-one with primetime Bobby Mills. So, let me ask you, Mr. Cardille, what's your opinion of John Bob Kennedy?
Mike, I've never seen him compete. He's a solid all-around heavyweight, but all I see is a Raymond Burr lookalike in a spandex onesie.
And his opponent, from Pineville, West Virginia, weighing 238 pounds, prime time, Bobby Mills.
Primetime has had more than his usual swagger lately, since he started running with Dirty Dutch Mantell and Big Bob Duncombe, now the self-named Unholy Trinity. What makes a basically honest guy turn to rule breaking instead of utilizing their own natural talents? Mike, I mean, why? What the actual factual hell?
Wally. Okay, fans, this one's ready to get going.
There's the bell, primetime with the hard right hands, but no. Blocked by Kennedy. Kennedy has him up, but no good, primetime refusing to take that ride. Mike primetime with a gouge of the eyes on Kennedy, and what a rotten way to buy time. Why that no good mother, and into a German suplex, just knocking the wind out of Kennedy.
Boy, I tells you, Wally Cardille, these New York City fans letting primetime hear it about himself while he tees off on the guy's chest with that elbow. You know you can't fight if you can't breathe, and I think primetime's worked that one out for himself. Gonna be a tough night for Kennedy if this keeps up.
Mike, hold on a sec. Nice fireman's carry by Kennedy, and Kennedy coming alive here. Trying to mount a comeback to regain control of this match. Kennedy charges, misses the double axe handle, and the fans getting behind John Bob Kennedy, but primetime's one step ahead again.
It's been a pretty tough go for Kennedy in just the first minute.
Mike primetime just beating a rhythm on Kennedy's skull, and that will scramble your cerebellum after a while. Kennedy quickly back to his feet, but too late. Primetime Bobby Mills all over him like ugly on a manatee, and setting Kennedy up. Knee to the face, and now just leaning into a blatant chokehold on Kennedy. Do something, will you, ref?
Wally, I gotta confess a grudging admiration for the methodical manner he's been carrying out his attacks on Kennedy. I mean, he's been really strategic, picking his targets, like the use of that elbow there.
Mike, and again, primetime with the blatant choke on Kennedy, almost at will, almost daring referee Tom Kanamura to do something about it. And oh, Oh, it's looking pretty bad for John Bob Kennedy, as he is just being systematically decimated a bit at a time by Mills.
He learned that from Mantell and Duncan. He didn't used to run like that.
Kennedy's not out of this one just yet, going back on the attack, taking the fight to Primetime, who's looking surprised. And for the first time tonight, Primetime's back is on the canvas. Kennedy goes for the half crab, but has to break the hold. Kennedy moves in, but Mills with the counter. What a suplex from Primetime on Kennedy. Shoulders pinned, hooks the leg. 1, 2. And somehow, someway, John Bob Kennedy gets a shoulder up. Kennedy counters, Kennedy charges, and slips up and gets hung up on the ropes. And guess who's coming through anyway? Primetime really pressing the advantage now.
Maybe John Bob Kennedy might want to think about working out on a treadmill or something.
Hard Irish whip into the corner, and oh my! Mills just teeing off on Kennedy in the corner.
I don't know. It looks to me like Kennedy's had it.
Wait a second. Kennedy's starting to push back here, charges, and misses again. Another whip into the corner, another change and no good. Primetime elbow finds the mark. Kennedy's got to do something because he's getting battered all over.
Primetime turning his attention away from the opponent. That's bad.
Catches Mills off guard, and Kennedy wasting time here. And it is just too late now. Primetime with a flying back elbow. And Mills goes for the pin. Again, another near fall.
And he's really letting Tom Connemora hear about it too. But you know Wally, that's another smart move by Primetime. It's taking energy to keep having to break out of pin after pin. It wears you down.
Here he goes again with that elbow to the sternum.
Like I said, methodical Wally.
Kennedy would have to be superhuman to not be feeling pain with every breath. Primetime perched up on that top rope. It's not looking good for Kennedy. Flying body press by Mills. Another pin attempt by Mills. 1, 2. And yet again, somehow Kennedy manages to break the pin.
Not trying to be critical or anything, but John Bob Kennedy maybe needs to sit down somewhere and reevaluate what he might be doing wrong here. Because he hasn't been able to mount any useful offense here. And Mills blinds Kennedy again. And boy oh boy, what a clothesline by Primetime. But look at this here, Kennedy counters. Tries to close in again. But whoa, Mills catches him out there with a back body drop, and it looks like Primetime is sensing a win is close.
There isn't an ounce of quit in either of these two. Fatigue really starting to set in for these two, and somebody is gonna have to finish this match soon. Kennedy playing a little okey-doke with Mills, and Primetime not liking it a bit. Kennedy with a whip and a charge, and Mills dodges the bullet again. He has sure had Kennedy's number tonight.
I can tell, Wally, kicking out of this last pin attempt, it's taken most of the fight out of John Bob Kennedy, and with the clock running down, I don't know if he can hold on long enough to catch Primetime off guard again.
But Kennedy stuns Mills. Kennedy whips stun Mills into the corner, and here we go. Running Bulldog, and Primetime seeing the stars for a change. This is it. Knows his chance. He has got to move in on Bobby Mills now.
Kennedy's feeling it. He is feeling it.
Sleeper. Sleeper hold. Kennedy's got it locked in, and Primetime in danger. This could be it. He's got it locked in pretty good. How? Not good enough. Another gouge, but Kennedy's got a hold of Primetime, setting up for the vertical suplex. But Primetime counters, still one step ahead.
Primetime trying a little modified sleeper of his own, but Kennedy wasn't having any of it. And here we go again. Kennedy unable to mount any decent offense.
Just an amazing match, but it has to end soon. And maybe it will. Kennedy whips Mills to the outside and onto the arena floor. Now Kennedy off the top rope, and that was 270 pounds dropping on you from about 10 feet in the air.
Like being hit by a car.
Mills Miles complains to the opponent he should be fighting. Big mistake, and Kennedy makes him pay with an atomic drop.
This is it. The break Kennedy's been waiting for. He can end this right here.
Now Kennedy with his first pin attempt in the match, and it's a to count only. This is Kennedy's problem. Has dealt some damage to Prime Time, but not enough. Needs to buckle down and finish Mills quickly. Prime Time back to his feet and flying back elbow. John Bob Kennedy counting the ring lights. Count to 100 by fives. This one is over.
Here is the time, 7 minutes and 38 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, per rhyme. Time, Bobby Mills.
Big surprise, Primetime fights his way to a dirty win over John Bob Kennedy, who may want to forget this day ever happened.
Well, there it was. Kennedy's one moment of true brilliance in tonight's match. And you're not kidding, it's one he's gonna want to forget. And I mean, John Bob Kennedy wasn't bad. It's only that Primetime Bobby Mills just seemed to be able to call every move he was gonna make. Really got inside Kennedy's head. You know what I mean? And when an opponent has you that figured out, there's almost no way to win at all.
And fans, as you enjoy these highlights, we remind you not to go too far away, because we will be back with more mat action in just a moment.
Our next contest is a 6-woman tag team match, scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing Team 1, first, the RWL Ladies Legends World Champion, Aya Casey, and her tag team partners, Mildred Burke, and the Greek goddess, Despina Montagas.
Alright, and Casey, Mildred Burke, and Despina Montagas. It isn't the first time we've seen this trio of old-school classic lady wrestlers, and they're facing the more modern team of the AAA Club, Ashley, Allison, and Amanda. The Clique.
And this 6-woman tag is kind of a big deal, as it's the first time ever that these two trios compete against one another.
From Johnstown, Pennsylvania, Allison Kinsey, and from Manchester, England, Amanda Powers, and together, they are The Clique.
Man alive, Mike. The Clique in the house here tonight at our WL Championship. Should be interesting and entertaining, seeing how Ashley, Allison, and Amanda fare against Team Classic.
The Clique, probably most famous for their year-long feud with Angels of Anarchy when they first arrived in our WL. Well, tonight is their first match with Team Classic.
Alright, 6-woman tag underway, with Casey and Ashley Renee, middle of the ring, jockeying for position here. Casey with the upper hand in the early goings. Nice takedown by the Ladies Legends champ. Here we go again, collar and elbow tie up, and hey. And Casey displaying a bit of power there. Casey moves in on Ashley, and a quick headlock takedown has Ashley on the mat. Oh, quick shot to the face by Casey.
I love the early moments of a match like this, when you got the competitors starting fresh, at full power, when each of them is trying to assert control.
Ashley breaking up the monotony with a whip into the corner on Casey. Ashley tags in Allison Kinsey. But Casey, quick to regain control, grabs Allison and spinning neck breaker. Allison Kinsey with a little Cobra Kai sweep the leg action, and now it's Allison and Casey fighting for control in this one. Allison tries for the Irish whip, and Casey slams on the brakes, and whoa, what a clothesline. Casey hauls off with a kick and misses. Kinsey whips Casey off against the ropes and misses her attack. And Casey firing back now with a series of hard right hands that has Kinsey in retreat. Allison Kinsey tries to retaliate, but no good, and Casey with a knee to the face. That crumples Allison to the canvas.
And it looks to me like Casey is gonna try for an early pin.
Allison Kinsey in a pinning predicament, but kicks out at 2, and Casey's still got some work to do before she gets a pin here. And hey, look out now! Allison Kinsey fighting her way back into this match, and a hard shot to Casey backs her off. And into a bridging pin, quick moves on Allison Kinsey, and now here's the ref and the count. No good, only a count of 2. Boy, what excitement so far in this 6-woman tag.
Casey trapped in the Click's corner, but Casey turning the tables on Allison with a hard whip to her team's corner.
And now it's Allison Kinsey on the wrong side of town, and all sooky. Allison's about to be on the receiving end of a unicorn stampede in Team Classic's corner.
Despina Montaga's tags herself in for a return, and then it'll be Mildred Burke next. Wally boy, Allison Kinsey's going home with all kinds of footprints.
Team Classic absolutely going off on Allison Kinsey as in Casey comes back in. Man, oh man alive, Allison's in deep this Chicago-style trouble.
And Casey whips Montaga's into the corner for the drop kick finale of that attack.
Despina Montaga's feeling confident she might have the pinfall. She hopes the leg, and here's the count, and no. Referee Tom Kanemura catches a shot from Ashley Renee, and the official is out to lunch.
Hey, rockabye referee. Allison Kinsey sets Montaga's up for a suplex, and look, Kanemura is gonna be okay. Probably the best action he's had all year.
Kinsey tags in Amanda Power for her first turn in the chamber and gets instantly hit with a dropkick by Despina Montaga's. Montaga's stalking Amanda. Amanda whips Montaga's into her team's corner. Here she comes full tilt, but no, Montaga's dodges at the last second. Now it's Montaga's in control, whipping Amanda into her team's corner, tries a charge, but Amanda dodges the attack this time.
Amanda whipped off the ropes, and Montaga's scores a huge back body drop.
At the moment, Despina Montaga's firmly in control, whips Amanda into the corner, but Amanda Power stops Montaga's cold and turns it around with a power bomb.
Enough, fans. We remind you to stick around, because still ahead, we've got Women's World Champ Dynamite Jeannie Parker in non-title action. In a king-sized main event between Snarl Television Champ Magic and our WL World Heavyweight Champion American Supreme Matt Clark, so lots more action ahead.
You're not kidding, Mike. Still lots of our WL Matt action ahead, so don't go anywhere.
Back to the action, and Montaga's just hauling Amanda around outside the ring.
And Montaga's unceremoniously dumps her head first onto the ring steps. Fans, Despina Montaga's firmly in control of the situation, but you can't pin an opponent outside the ring. Montaga's needs to get Amanda Power back inside.
Referee's count is up to about 4 or 5, so she better be quick about it.
The officials count now up to 6 as Montaga's and Amanda Power trading shots back and forth.
I think it's pretty safe to say these ladies have thrown caution to the wind and are all about just winning this thing however they can.
With the count at 8, Montaga's finally corrals Amanda back into the ring and follows her in. Amanda grabs the Greek goddess by the hair, and whoa, it's Montaga's a nasty stunner.
Amanda Power just dragging a helpless Montaga's across the canvas, but she'd be smarter to go for a pin attempt.
Forget the pin attempt, Mike. The Click had some seriously bad intentions for Montaga's right about now, as they are setting up a devastating triple power bomb Montaga's way in the middle of the air here with no place to go but down, and the impact just reverberating through the whole building. And with that, Amanda Power goes for the pin on Montaga's, but it's broken up by Casey, who may have just saved this match for her team.
Looks like Montaga's is still feeling the after effects of that triple power bomb. She's laid out, but good.
Amanda Power with the hard Irish whip on Montaga's into the corner. Amanda's closing in for the attack, but catches an unexpected boot to the face from the Greek goddess. Here comes Montaga's, oh man. Serious body-on-body contact with that move. Despina Montaga's picks up Amanda and whips her into a far corner. Amanda one step ahead of Montaga's, however, and she responds by whipping Montaga's into the Click's corner. Amanda tries to stop Montaga's, but no good. The Greek goddess turns it around on her.
We've seen Montaga's playing around with her prey from time to time. Looks like we're seeing a little bit of that now, with Montaga's just toying with Amanda Power. Montagas closing the gap between herself and Amanda Power.
Hang on a hot second. Amanda strikes, and now the two of them are back swapping shots. Despina Montagas with a bridging pin on Amanda. 1, 2. How about that? Team Classic with the 1 to 3 on the click.
The time, 7 minutes and 3 seconds. Your winners by pinfall, Despina Montagas, Mildred Burke, and NKC.
I'll admit, Wally, I'm surprised by this win. Usually in any six-man tag, you always expect a time limit draw, but Team Classic shattered that old wives' tale.
They did indeed. What a match that was. But stick around, fans. There's still more ahead.
The following non-title tag team contest is set for one fall, with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first the Manager S, Grace Fenwick, and at a total combined weight of 530 pounds, from Norwich, England, Niles Wickheiser, and, from Victoria, Australia, Ballarat Jack Jones. Together, they are the United Kingdom.
Ballarat Jack and Niles Wickheiser were doing singles competitions until they reconnected as old friends during the Sweet Revenge World Tour of 2017, and the UKs have been working as an effective team ever since.
Their opponents, accompanied by Sylvia Strong, at a combined weight of 524 pounds, from Chicago, Illinois, John Van, and, from Staten Island, New York, Guy Cormier, the RWL Undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the Originals.
Arguably the greatest tag team combo in the history of a WL. The Bounty Hunters, Hondo and Ramula, the Fukushima Meltdowns, they all pale in comparison to John Van and Guy Cormier.
And just because this is a non-title match, do not expect the Originals to go easy on the UKs. Tag team action underway as John Van sizes up the Aussie Ballarat Jack, and Ballarat Jack draws first blood with a backbreaker on Van. Ballarat Jack goes to lift Van, and John Van with the surprise sweep on the Australian. And now, the Chicago Hammer's got Jack on the mat, prone on his stomach, and John Van set to do some damage to the arms and shoulders with this move.
Wally, just take a look at Sylvia Strong there at ringside. I mean, she's gotta be so proud of the Stronghold stable. John and Guy beat Wild Fortune to retain the world titles. And then, the Insiders Big Jake Blackwell and Stefan Von Berger beat the Guns Brothers and get crowned new television tag champs. And all at Memphis Million yet. With the Stronghold in possession of half the tag team gold in our WL. Well, it puts both the Originals and the Insiders in a pretty favorable position.
Well, Mike, the Original's not in a very favorable one now, with Ballarat Jack dictating the pace of this match, and he is in control of John Van, who's trapped on the wrong side of town right now. And did you see that? Niles Wickheiser just cheap shooting John Van in the Uke's corner. John Van beating it out of the ring in a rip of a hurry, trying to get his bearings back and regain control of this situation with Ballarat Jack. John Van giving Jack a little lift cross town and out of the danger zone. Snapmare from the Chidown Hammer follows it up with a sharp kick, square between the shoulders. Van steps to the corner, makes the tag, and here come Guy Cormier. Well, this ain't good. Ballarat Jack taking control of things right away and separates Cormier from his side of the ring, and now it's Guy on the wrong side of the tracks. Guy getting to his feet again, and Ballarat Jack sizing him up for something here, and Ochers hits the jawjacker, and that one will shake your teeth loose. Jack drives a knee into Cormier's gut. Both men return to the middle of the ring, Cormier lifting Jack, but Jack striking with elbows to the head, and Cormier forced to relinquish his hold. Ballarat Jack with the Michinoku driver. The big Australian gathering Cormier up again sets him up. Cormier stunned, unable to defend himself, and Yell, just a devastating DDT. Here's the ref, and here is the count. 1, 2. No, only a count of 2, and the big Australian sizing up his next move. There's no hype in saying Ballarat Jack is dominating the situation right now. Guy is in serious trouble here, and you can just bet That Sylvia is in his ear right now, telling him it's time to tag out. There's the tag. The ref sees it, and in comes Chicago Hammer John Van, and John Van just attacking Ballarat Jack from every conceivable angle. He's got Jack totally bamboozled.
Ah, here we go, Wally. Ballarat Jack's about to get a makeover.
John has him. Jack goes up in front, facing. Choke slam. Man, oh man alive, Jack's brains have to be scrambled after that.
Say, did you happen to notice Grace Fenwick trying to be cute and slip Jack that steel chair? Ain't she just adorable?
There's nothing cute about the sadistic Grace Fenwick, and there's nothing cute about the beating Ballarat Jack is taking right now, as John Van is making it rain elbow drops on the Aussie. Aw, hell, here we go. Grace Fenwick running interference while Jack gets his act together, and she has got John Van wound up pretty good, and at long freaking last, referee Willie Johnson gets that steel chair out of the ring. Aw, how do you like that? Niles Wickheiser with another cheap shot, as Ballarat Jack finally comes to his senses.
Wally, sometime guys break the rules. It's wrestling, not the Pillsbury Bake-Off. The move's so nice he tried it twice the Michinoku driver. And here's the count. 1, 2. And John Van gets the shoulder up. This match continues.
Ballarat Jack with John Van up on his shoulders, and this won't end good at all. Into a flapjack. Face first onto the canvas goes Van. And for the first time in the match, Niles Wickheiser is tagged in. And boy, does Grace Fenwick want to see her man put a hurting on the Chicago Hammer. Here comes John, and pow. Van just stopped Niles Wickheiser dead in his tracks with a shoulder block. And Van isn't even half finished here as he sets Wickheiser up for something special. Hits them with the drag and drop. The Chicago Hammer's just a firing on all cylinders here, and look out Papa. Here it comes. Hard right hand leaves Wickheiser laid out flat.
There is an important lesson to be learning here, and that is, don't ever get the originals mad at you. See, John saw Ballarat Jack taking advantage of his partner, and I'm pretty sure what we're about to see is intended to relay a message.
Oh, good God. They're gonna do it. I do not believe it. Superplex from the top rope to the floor 10 feet below, and Niles Wickheiser is not moving a muscle. Niles Wickheiser just absolutely motionless following the devastating top rope superplex. And here's John Van, continuing to pour it on, attacking relentlessly.
Have you ever noticed how polite Sylvia Strong is? Just stands there quietly watching her boys beat people into a stupor. Never makes a fuss, just as sweet as can be.
For a wrestling manager, she does have a pretty nice disposition, but forget all that a second. John Van has Niles Wickheiser balanced on that steel barricade, and he's got bad intentions for the Wick. Oh wow. Van tries to take Wickheiser's head off with that one. But John unable to follow up, and here comes Wickheiser just battering Van against the ring apron. And here comes Wickheiser following up with a back suplex onto the floor.
You know, Wickheiser may look like he's alright, but you just believe me, his body is reeling from the effects of that superplex. Only way he's being this aggressive is pure adrenaline. He don't even know the pain he's in.
That's fine, well, and good Mike, but he sure looks in control of things at the moment.
Yeah, that was short-lived. Gonna be hard for the Ukes to stop the originals once they get a good head of steam going, and it looks to me like they're on a build-up.
John Van winds it up and lets it fly, elbow to the back of Niles Wickheiser's skull, and honest to God, I can't figure out how the Wick is even conscious.
Ah, told you that superplex rattled his cage.
Van whips Wickheiser back into the ring, but not without a little parting shot.
Wickheiser scrambling for the corner, makes the tag, and here comes Ballarat Jack. Elbow. Clothesline. Another elbow. And now with John Van off his vertical base, Ballarat Jack turns his attention to punishing the legs and knees of John Van.
Van could be in serious trouble here, and if it was me in the match, Mike, I would tag out as soon as possible. Ballarat Jack is too fresh, and he and Guy have to work him down before he can tag out again.
Don't look like anyone's going any place. Sylvia is in a panic trying to get John's attention, and Jack is still going for the pin here. And of course it's no good.
Either Ballarat Jack's run out of ideas, or he's just keeping John separated from Guy while he gets some no ones. How? Ballarat Jack connected with the standing leg drop. Guy Cormier standing at his corner just inches away from John, still not able to make the tag, as Jack scores with a backbreaker. John Van's back to his feet, needs to make the tag, but no good. Ballarat Jack right there to prevent the tag. John Van blocks the suplex. He's canceled this flight, and right in Jack's face. Turns around and makes the tag to Guy Cormier. Cormier got Jack all locked up. He's got the leg hooked, and Ballarat Jack is on the launch pad.
Pretty rude of Guy, just using up Ballarat Jack's frequent flyer miles that way. Now it's Cormier in the driver's seat, and he's just leaning into that shoulder claw. Guy's grip must have slipped, cause Ballarat Jack is back up and he don't look none too happy. Mike, here we go. Jack's setting it up again. That Michinoku driver has been Jack's go-to move for the evening. And Ballarat Jack lets Guy down in the most gentle way he possibly can. Another bump-in attempt by Ballarat Jack. What you're seeing here from Guy Cormier is the reason the originals have been multi-time years-long champions. They make sure to always distribute twice as much punishment as they receive from any given to opponents.
These two given opponents just made with the double team move on Guy Cormier, and Niles Wickheiser looks like he wants this one to be over sooner rather than later.
Right there. Look at Guy's face. Wick just made him mad. That's the mistake I mentioned earlier in the match. When you make the originals mad, that kind of stuff comes with consequences, Wally.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. No, he is not setting up a second superplex for Wick. In the name of human decency, Guy, don't do this.
Forget about it. It's done.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I don't know what's still driving Niles Wickheiser's meat skeleton, but there's a burning fire in there for sure.
Darn straight. A common man would have quit by now. Now the originals are looking at a problem here. So far, they've hit the UKs with everything but the kitchen sink. They still haven't managed a pin or a tap out. And by the clock, we're about 3/4 through this one. Alright, Wickheiser's got Guy back in the ring. What's he gonna do here? Wick's got him, and here it goes. A combination abdominal stretch with a stomach claw for added flavor.
Cormier trying to work himself loose, with Wick struggling to hang on and the hold is broken. Niles Wickheiser goes for the pin. Wick only able to get a deuce count, and his patience has got to be wearing thin by now. And another stiff kick to the upper back, and hold on just a hot second. Guy is back up, and has fighting mad. Look at this out of freaking nowhere, Luthes press. And that last shot's busted Niles Wickheiser wide open, and the vino is flowing.
Wick's really starting to bleed, and yeah, Guy Cormier really letting him have it. But it looks like a little too late. The UKs are still in control. And look at this here. A little double team fancy work by Jack and Wick. Ballarat Jack with the pin. 1, 2. And a surprise upset win by the UKs.
The time, 10 minutes and 54 seconds. Your winners by pinfall, Ballarat Jack, Niles Wickheiser, the United Kingdoms.
Boy howdy, I'll tell you what, Mike, it's a good thing this was just an exhibition. Had this been some other night, the United Kingdoms would be New World Tag Team Champions, and on a dirty win, no less. And for the life of me, we've seen John Van and Guy Cormier take Ballarat Jack and Niles Wickheiser to the cleaners in past matches, but they just didn't seem on point tonight, so I'm all like, hey, what gives? What is the freaking frequency, Kenneth?
I really wouldn't worry too much. It's a non-title loss on a televised card. Anyways, folks, stick around. We got more.
The next contest is set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first from Hollywood, California, here is Showbiz.
For you fans that might not know, Showbiz is aligned with our WL Women's International Champion to Tanya Tatiana, and Showbiz dislikes Dynamite Jeannie Parker every bit as much as Tatiana does. So even though this match doesn't have the women's world belt on the line, I wouldn't exactly characterize it as without some degree of intensity between the participants.
And her opponent, from Richmond, Virginia, the RWL Women's World Champion, Dynamite, Jeannie Parker.
She is the longest reigning women's world champ in the history of RWL, and Jeannie D is front and center in this match with Showbiz and Mike Lane. How do you like the champ's odds in this matchup?
It's no government secret Jeannie can't stand Showbiz or her master Tanya Tatiana. And you can trust and believe Wally, Jeannie Dynamite, is gonna fight like the belt is on the line here. There's your bell, and here we go. Jeannie D opens up an immediate can of hoop pass on Showbiz, but Showbiz is countering. She comes off the ropes, and Jeannie's going for a real sudden ride.
Jeannie D on the canvas as Showbiz plans her next move, and that move turns out to be a hard kick to the chest for Jeannie Parker. Showbiz wasting little time, heading for the high rent district. With Parker recovering, Parker looks up, but way too late. Showbiz scores with a double axe handle off the top.
Boy, Showbiz has really kind of dialed up her intensity here, and she is seriously taking the fight to the champ.
Showbiz just stomping away on Jeannie D, and the champ is unable to do much to stop it. Parker back to her feet, and boom goes the Dynamite, running kick to the face. With Showbiz down, Jeannie wisely moving in, trying to keep her off her vertical base.
The champ's hitting her stride now. Jeannie takes a run around the maple and smashes Showbiz's knee. And hoo boy, Showbiz really feeling that last shot.
Hard right hand to the face, and down goes Showbiz again.
But Showbiz with the quick counter, trying to set up something effective. But Jeannie Parker just runs on past off the ropes and scores a shot that puts Showbiz back on the canvas again.
Parker strikes with a closed fist, and here she goes. She's got the trap squeeze locked in, with Parker gripping Showbiz trapezius muscles, blocking the blood flow to Showbiz brain, and Showbiz is fading fast.
There ain't a lot of women that could stand up to that trap squeeze, and Showbiz looks like the wind is out of her sails. Parker goes for the pin. 1, 2, no, only at the count. And Jeannie looks like she thought she had this one, but Showbiz ain't finished just yet.
Jeannie hits with the split-legged leg drop, bringing her cap down on Showbiz's throat, and her butt crashing down on Showbiz's chest. But no good, only a count of 2 again, and Jeannie Parker still has quite a bit of work to do if she's planning to wear Showbiz down.
Jeannie misses with the knee, and oh, that one is hurting, but Parker moves it, sets up the hard Irish whip, and out goes Showbiz onto the arena floor, and outside the ring is no place to be around Jeannie Parker.
Parker, with Showbiz up on her shoulders, what's she gonna do here? Wow, a spinning drop that has to be hurting, because a drop like that rattles your insides. And now Parker driving a knee repeatedly into Showbiz's chest. Parker gets her up. Collar and elbow, and Jeannie whipped Showbiz into those unforgiving steel steps.
And look at this here, the champ's just having a laugh on Showbiz. Boy, that Jeannie Dynamite just pouring on the confidence here. Parker perched perilously on the top rope.
And what goes up must come down, but Showbiz just evades the top rope move. Showbiz backing off a bit now, as she decides outside the ring is no place to try and win this match. Parker slowly stalking Showbiz from outside, inviting Showbiz to step back out of that ring. Showbiz foolishly accepts the challenge, and Parker rewards her with a head into the ring post.
Collar and elbow tie up again, and this time, Showbiz just whizzing Jeannie across the floor.
And let me tell you, it's clear that these two opponents really not too crazy about one another.
True, Wally. I get the sense that they're both less interested in winning, as they aren't doing the most amount of damage they can get away with. It's like we said before this match started, the three-way rivalry between Showbiz, Tanya, and Jeannie Parker really erupted over the summer, when the then rookie Tatiana challenged Jeannie D for her title and lost the match. And her shot at the world title with Teddy and us settling for an women's international title win over Susie Nuclear Campbell. But Titania and Showbiz are still laser focused on dethroning the women's world champion. But so far, they haven't been able to even slow the champ down, even a little.
Jeannie's just coming off a successful title defense against Crystal Gabor at Memphis Million just days ago, in a match that really took a lot out of the champ. Maybe this is why she seems to be having her troubles putting Showbiz away. I just feel that on any other day, Jeannie Parker would hand Showbiz her own keister on a silver platter.
That's a pretty solid point there, Mr. Cardinal. Crystal Gabor took Jeannie to her limits in that match, and with this one, coming so quick on the heels of Memphis Million, well, maybe Jeannie's not at her full potential just now.
Maybe, but Parker's still got enough on the ball that she's making it tough for Showbiz to be impactful. But Showbiz isn't daunted. She whips Jeannie to the ropes and out of the ring, and out of the ring is where these two ladies pose the greatest threat to one another.
Absolutely. With no official to control the proceedings, these two are at liberty to inflict as much damage as they like, while the ref does the only thing he can do. Count.
That's all referee Tom Kanemura can do as Jeannie slips back inside the ring, and Showbiz is dazed outside of it.
The champ's up to something here. Here she goes, and holy mackerel, dynamite Jeannie Parker, using her entire body as a missile, scoring a direct hit on Showbiz.
Jeannie D in the driver's seat now, just raining down on Showbiz with an assortment of stomps and kicks that have Showbiz reeling. Jeannie Parker now kicking Showbiz around like a soccer ball, stopping just long enough to try and separate Showbiz's arm from her shoulder. Parker reaching deep into the arsenal for the right weapons in this little skirmish.
Ref still counting, up to 3, as Jeannie slips back inside the ring. But then, right back out again. I'm telling ya, with this one more than half over, Jeannie don't care about a win here. She just wants to make sure Showbiz don't ever forget this ass kicking.
Just a terrific match so far between these two. And coming up next, champion versus champion in the main event, as Magic faces American Supreme Matt Clark. Parker returns to torturing the arm of Showbiz with that agonizing arm lock.
That move just torched the entire arm, from the wrist, right on up to the shoulder. Don't try this at home, kids.
Very important point to the youngsters, my kids. Don't ever try to emulate, imitate, or simulate any of the moves you see performed by any professional wrestlers. Unless you're in the running for a Darwin Award. For God's sake, leave the carnage to the professionals.
This has been a public service announcement from Ringside Wrestling League. Just so you know. They made us say that.
There's only 3 minutes left in this one, and neither opponent seems to be making any serious progress toward a victory here. These two just want to deconstruct one another.
Well, the ref is sure having an easy time of it. All Kanemura has done is count in this one.
True, Mike. These ladies have done twice as much wrestling outside of the squared circle as they have inside it. The official is still counting, but Jeannie Parker returns inside, while Showbiz is visibly stunned outside on the arena floor. And holy smokes, where do y'all go from here?
Back outside. Where else? And Parker launches Showbiz into the crowd-controlled barricade. Jeannie's starting to turn on the power again.
And Showbiz, having none of it, launches Parker over her shoulder with a fierce back body drop on the arena floor. Showbiz reaches back and hurls the champ into the steel steps.
You know that hurts a whole bunch. A lot of sharp corners on them things.
Meanwhile, Showbiz back in the ring, displaying that narcissistic ego of hers as usual, and the champ taking her sweet time getting back in the ring. I think you're right, Mike. This one isn't about winning at all. Both the champ and Showbiz are in a desperate bid to just outdo one another.
I don't know. There's a little less than 2 minutes left here, and either one of them could still win, but they gotta get it back inside the ring. And I don't know that either one of them cares about the win just now.
Well, with less than a minute and a half remaining on the timekeeper's clock, something better happen pretty soon, one way or the other.
Yeah, judging by their actions, this has degenerated into a good old-fashioned Pier 6 brawl. I'm kind of not holding out much hope for a win from either of them.
It sure isn't the outcome the fans are looking for. They'd like to see a clean win by either of these two, but they've let their anger drive them in this one.
Did you see that? Showbiz could have gone for a pin there and she didn't even bother.
And now, with less than a minute to go, someone has to get this match back between the ropes before it's too late.
It's already too late, Wally. Even the champ, consummate professional that she is just too angry to think straight anymore. And I'm sure Showbiz isn't doing much better.
Mere seconds left to go. It's really looking like this one's a lost cause, as Jeannie Parker and Showbiz have just taken a serious leak on the rulebook here, and are just obsessed with inflicting damage on each other for its own sake. Mike.
There's one thing that is sure, Wally. This one ends in a draw. Then it will not be the last time we see Jeannie Dynamite and Showbiz set against one another. And you can probably also bet on that rematch coming sooner rather than later.
With less than 10 seconds left, and no one even thinking about returning to the ring, well, you can just chalk this one up.
The time limit has elapsed, and the referee has declared this match as a time limit draw.
No wins, no losses, only disappointment for both contestants. Stick around.
Next contest is our main event, set for one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Newark, New Jersey, weighing 316 pounds, he is the RWL Snarl Television Champion, the icon. The legend. Magic.
Boy, oh boy, what a career Magic has had here in RWL. The man's competed all over this planet, and here, he's done it all. Former World Heavyweight Champion himself, current National Tag Team Champions with Gregory Necro Black, former No Rules Champion, and of course, the reigning Snarl TV Champion.
And his opponent, from Smithfield, North Carolina, weighing 265 pounds, he is the RWL World Heavyweight Champion, American Supreme. Matt Clark.
Magic has mega accolades to his credit, but this young man, only 24 years old in his 2013 debut, and fast forward a whole decade, and what has an American Supreme achieved in that time? Four-time World Heavyweight Champion, former multi-time tag champion with Oliver Hollywood, the-time former national champion, and he holds the classic, a WA World Championship. These two opponents are absolute A-list peak performers, and while they have clashed before, it's always a blast seeing them compete. Game on in this champion versus champion main event, and Matt Clark, starting things off with a display of sheer physical strength, and drops him face first into the turnbuckle. American Supreme wasting little time, very aggressive in the early goings, sets Magic up yet again, and Clark hits the flyover neck whip. The world champ just on fire here, just giving Magic a pretty serious working over.
Clark was really super focused for all of 2022, only dropping a match or two, and never lost a title match yet in this title run, going on 3 years.
Matt's accomplishments are indeed innumerable, and man, is the champ ever firing on all cylinders, and Clark's up there, top rope, and here he comes. Elbow finds its mark with deadly accuracy. Clark goes for a pin, 1. That's all, just a 1 count, and Magic's not out of this one just yet.
Again, Clark strikes while Diane is hot. He got Magic in an armbar, an American Supreme, really torturing that arm, but you won't get Magic to tap. Not even close to possible. And get a load of this here. Magic finally fighting his way to what could have been a bad situation.
Magic's got Clark all hung up, and there it is, gut-wrench suplex. Magic's patience clearly at an end as he takes out his frustrations on American Supreme. Now Magic attempts to retaliate with an armbar of his own, but the ref calls for the break.
You're exactly right there, Wally. Once Magic got a chance to fight back, Clark's odds just went down a little bit, and boy, these two are going at it like a couple of horses.
Magic with Clark, and Magic just slamming Clark to the canvas with some serious force. Now, it's Clark on the defensive, and the champ faring about as well as his opponent did in the early seconds of the match. Magic just ragdolling Clark at will.
This right here is what you get when you got the guys competing at this championship level. Neither one of them is just gonna up and quit on this one.
I certainly don't see that happening. Matt Clark pours it on with a series of hard right hands, turns Magic around, and what a rear clothesline delivered by American Supreme. Here comes Clark again, displaying some scientific techniques with a spinning hammerlock.
That's just a little piece of what makes Supreme the champ that he is. He is versatile. He can be a technician when he needs to, but he can brawl with the best of them if that's what's needed.
Matt Clark firmly back in control of things at this juncture, and Magic seems to be out of it. Clark's heading for the high ground again, setting up for another diving elbow. Man, oh man alive, put the bullseye on that one. Clark, looking a little tentative about moving in here. Looks like he suspects something.
Clark's no fool. He knew Magic was just playing possum. Great awareness on Supreme's part.
Clark with Magic in the corner, Magic evades. Magic charges and misses, and Clark moves in with a kick to the chest. The momentum in this one shifting palpably, as it is all Matt Clark at the moment, with the champ wisely keeping the big man off his feet by using just everything in his bag of tricks, including this submission hold.
Clark's been called a thinking man's pro wrestler, and we've seen just a little bit of why in this match. There's an actual strategy to every single thing he does. Even when he does make a mistake, he always seems able to recalibrate according to the situation.
Supreme goes for the pin, hooks the leg. 1, 2. Man, Clark thought he had it, and he's letting Tom Kanemura hear about it.
This is an opportunity for Magic. This near fall may have bought him the time he needs to stage a comeback.
Wait up. Magic may have heard you, Mike. Cause he is still taking the fight to American Supreme. Collar and elbow, and Clark's got Magic hooked up, and Supreme snaps off a beautiful suplex. Now Clark delivers a knee to Magic's head. Magic in just all kinds of trouble here, as Clark continues to press the attack, while not allowing Magic any sort of defense. Brilliant strategy, but too close to the ropes, and there's the break. Clark with the pin attempt. 1, 2, 3, it's over.
American Supreme with the win.
The time, 4 minutes and 25 seconds. Your winner by pinfall's American Supreme Matt Clark.
Well now, what a workmanlike performance for these two, but it's American Supreme with the check mark in the W column. Really just a terrific main event here tonight.
Now I watched those two very carefully all through that match, and what we saw was Matt Clark very methodically wearing Magic down to a point where he just couldn't go anymore. I'll say it again, Wally. That's the kind of in-ring skill that's made Clark a lasting champion.
Great observation there, Mr. Lane. Well, fans, I'm afraid that's going to have to do it for us here. We are out of time, but we thank you for being with us, and we sure do hope you'll be with us next time for more RWL Championship Wrestling. For Mike Lane and myself, Wally CARDILLE, good night.